When most people think about Saturn, they imagine something beautiful and peaceful, a golden planet floating quietly in space, surrounded by elegant rings that look like a cosmic crown. For centuries, Saturn has been one of the most fascinating objects in the night sky. Even with a small telescope, you can see its rings clearly. Because of this, many people consider it the most beautiful planet in our solar system. But beauty in space can be deceptive. Gigantic storms rage across the planet. Winds move faster than a jet fighter. Temperatures drop far below anything humans could survive. And deep inside the planet, pressures become so extreme that scientists believe it may literally rain diamonds. Saturn might look peaceful from a distance, but the reality is far darker. To understand why Saturn is actually one of the scariest planets, we need to take a closer look at what truly happens there. Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, after Jupiter. Its diameter is about 120,000 kilometers, nearly 10 times wider than Earth. But Saturn is very different from Earth. Unlike our planet, Saturn has no solid surface. You cannot stand on Saturn. There is no ground, no mountains, no oceans. The planet is made mostly of hydrogen and helium gases. If you try to land on Saturn, you would simply fall deeper and deeper into its atmosphere. The deeper you go, the more the pressure increases. Eventually, the gas becomes so dense that it behaves like a liquid, and the deeper you fall, the more terrifying things become. One of the first things you would notice near Saturn is the wind. Saturn has some of the fastest winds in the entire solar system. These winds can reach speeds of more than 1,800 kilometers per hour. To put that into perspective, the strongest hurricanes on Earth rarely exceed 250 kilometers per hour. That means Saturn's winds can be 7 times stronger than the most powerful storms on Earth. These winds constantly circle the planet in massive bands, creating giant atmospheric rivers that stretch thousands of kilometers. If a spacecraft tried to fly through these storms, it would be violently shaken by the powerful currents of gas. And the deeper you go into Saturn's atmosphere, the more intense the chaos becomes. Saturn has another terrifying feature. About once every 30 years, a massive storm appears that grows large enough to wrap around the entire planet. Scientists call it the Great White Spot. This storm is so enormous that it can be seen even with telescopes from Earth. It begins as a small disturbance in Saturn's atmosphere, but quickly grows into a colossal hurricane system that stretches across thousands of kilometers. Lightning flashes inside the storm are incredibly powerful, much stronger than lightning on Earth. Some of these lightning bolts release energy equivalent to thousands of nuclear bombs. Imagine a storm so powerful that it could swallow our entire planet. On Saturn, that kind of storm is completely normal. If you travel to Saturn's North Pole, you will find something even stranger. There is a gigantic storm shaped like a perfect hexagon. Yes, a 6-sided storm. This mysterious structure is called Saturn's hexagon. It was first discovered in the 1980s when spacecraft sent back images of the planet's poles. The hexagon is enormous. Each side of it is longer than the diameter of Earth. Inside this giant shape, powerful winds swirl around the pole at incredible speeds. The structure has remained stable for decades, which makes it one of the most unusual weather systems ever discovered in the solar system. Scientists still don't fully understand why the hexagon exists. But one thing is clear: Saturn's atmosphere behaves in ways that are completely alien compared to anything on Earth. Deep inside Saturn, conditions become even more extreme. As lightning storms break apart methane molecules in the atmosphere, carbon atoms are released. These atoms may fall deeper into the planet, where the pressure becomes unbelievably high. Under these conditions, scientists believe that carbon could compress into diamonds. These diamonds might then fall like rain towards Saturn's interior. Imagine standing in a storm where diamonds are literally falling from the sky. But instead of something magical, it would be terrifying, because those diamonds would be falling through an atmosphere with crushing pressure and freezing temperatures. This is one of the many strange possibilities that make Saturn such a mysterious world. Saturn's rings are the feature that makes the planet famous. They look delicate and peaceful from afar, like thin glowing bands of light. But the reality is far more dangerous. Saturn's rings are made of billions of pieces of ice and rock. Some are as small as grains of sand, while others are the size of mountains. All of these objects are orbiting Saturn at incredibly high speeds. If a spacecraft tried to fly through the rings without careful navigation, it could be destroyed by a collision with even a small piece of ice. The rings are not calm or gentle. They are more like a massive cosmic shooting range filled with high-speed debris, and they are slowly disappearing. Scientists believe Saturn's rings may eventually fall into the planet due to gravity. This process is sometimes called ring rain. Over millions of years, the beautiful rings that define Saturn may vanish forever. Another reason Saturn can be dangerous is its powerful magnetic field. Like Jupiter, Saturn generates a huge magnetosphere, a region of space controlled by the planet's magnetic field. This magnetic bubble traps high-energy particles that constantly bombard the region around the planet. For spacecraft and astronauts, this radiation could be extremely dangerous. Saturn's magnetosphere stretches millions of kilometers into space, creating a giant invisible shield filled with energetic particles. This environment would make long-term human exploration very difficult. If you could somehow survive the violent winds and descend deeper into Saturn, the pressure would continue to increase. Eventually, the gas becomes so dense that it behaves like a liquid ocean of hydrogen. Even deeper, the pressure becomes so extreme that hydrogen may transform into something called metallic hydrogen. In this strange state, hydrogen acts like a metal that can conduct electricity. This layer may be responsible for generating Saturn's magnetic field, but reaching this region would be impossible for any spacecraft we currently have. The pressure would crush anything long before it reached the planet's core. Deep beneath Saturn's massive atmosphere lies a dense core. Scientists believe this core is made of rock and ice, possibly about 10 to 20 times the mass of Earth, but we cannot see it directly. Everything above it is hidden beneath thousands of kilometers of dense gas and liquid hydrogen. This means that Saturn's true interior remains one of the biggest mysteries in planetary science. Even today, we still do not fully understand what lies at the heart of this giant planet. Saturn is not alone in space. The planet has more than 140 moons, making it one of the most complex planetary systems in the solar system. Some of these moons are peaceful worlds of ice, but others are incredibly strange and potentially dangerous. One moon in particular stands out. Titan. Titan is the second largest moon in the solar system and has a thick atmosphere even denser than Earth's. But instead of water oceans, Titan has lakes and rivers made of liquid, methane, and ethane. Rain falls from orange clouds, filling vast alien seas. If humans visited Titan, they would see landscapes that look strangely similar to Earth, but everything would be made of hydrocarbons instead of water. Another moon, Enceladus, shoots enormous plumes of water ice into space from cracks in its surface. These geysers can blast material hundreds of kilometers above the moon. Some scientists believe a vast ocean exists beneath Enceladus's frozen crust, which could possibly contain life. Saturn's moons make the planet system even more mysterious. One of the scariest facts about Saturn is its sheer size. Saturn is so large that more than 760 Earths could fit inside its volume. If Earth were somehow dropped into Saturn, it would disappear deep inside the giant atmosphere without leaving much trace. This enormous scale reminds us how small our planet truly is. Saturn is a giant world of storms, extreme physics, and alien environments that humans can barely imagine. From Earth, Saturn looks calm. Through a telescope, it appears like a golden jewel surrounded by elegant rings. But that peaceful image hides a violent reality. The planet is filled with storms stronger than anything on Earth. Winds scream across the atmosphere at incredible speeds. Lightning storms release enormous energy. And deep inside the planet, pressures crush matter into exotic states. Saturn may be beautiful, but it is not peaceful. Despite its terrifying conditions, Saturn remains one of the most fascinating places scientists have ever studied. Space missions, like the Cassini spacecraft, spent years exploring the planet and its moons. Cassini revealed incredible details about Saturn's rings, storms, and magnetic field. It also discovered the water geysers on Enceladus and studied the mysterious lakes of Titan. Even after the mission ended, scientists are still analyzing the enormous amount of data it collected. Saturn continues to surprise us, and many of its secrets remain unsolved. A reminder of the power of the universe, Saturn reminds us that the universe is filled with worlds far stranger than our own. Planets can be made of gas instead of rock. Storms can be larger than entire worlds. And rain might not always be water. It could be diamonds. What looks peaceful from a distance may actually be one of the most hostile environments imaginable. Saturn is beautiful, but it is also terrifying. And that combination is exactly what makes it one of the most fascinating planets in the solar system.